I'd like to know where the mayor is. Actually, my name's Steve Moronco. I'd like to know where the mayor is today. Did she give an excuse?
It's Sunday.
Okay.
She had a prior commitment, and she stated it right from the beginning when an email was sent out to all the mayor and council members. She replied back.
I'd like to know why there's no contact order on my wife to be here, and also the shelter, which is actually closed right now. When I've opened paperwork from the police department, there's nothing. Why is she not allowed to be here? Can you guys invite her here so that she can come here and speak?
My understanding there's a municipal court order that was issued by a municipal court judge. I don't know anything about it other than that. It wasn't anything to do with the Helmetta.
Well, no, the police department asked for it.
But the judge entered it, and it's a court order that I guess if your wife wants to lift, you should go to the court and lift it.
A Helmetta judge.
Yeah, it was alternative Helmetta judge that ordered it. With no hearing, it was, and I quote, because I said so, that's why you can't go.
There's no reason behind it. It was Pee Wee Herman that actually was the one who went up and asked for it. I was sitting right there.
And I asked for the paperwork to see what the evidence was to keep her out of there, and out of here, and I've received nothing.
Yeah, I had no reason.
Now, when you guys reopen it, somehow can you keep the mayor from having any authority at the shelter? She should have no say, throwing me out or throwing anybody else out.
Like a no contact order.
Yeah, let's get no contact order on the mayor from going into the shelter. Now, somebody was saying before about when animals get picked up. When I was down in Florida recently, they had like a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper saying that a dog was picked up with a description, and then where they can contact. Maybe looking at something like that when you guys actually get up and running in different towns, so that way if somebody goes looking for their dog and they wind up instead of missing dog, they can see that the dog was picked up. What's going to go on with the outdoor dog runs over there? Are they going to be worked on as well?
I don't think that's really been addressed so far.
It has been addressed.
Is there a problem with it?
Well,
use them, right?
No,
No.
not supposed
Not
to.
at the code.
Yeah, I don't really
there's
get
some
that.
sort of a discrepancy there because, I don't know if you want to call it a discrepancy, but other places that we've gone to, there's grass.
Yeah, I don't
That's
get that either.
That's a pervious surface, so whatever goes in is going to go down into the dirt. And they don't, and I think that's from the health department.
Right.
They didn't want us using that, so it had to be an impervious surface. So if the dog goes there.
I can see for the indoor dog runs, you know, where they reside, but that outdoor exercise area, that seems like there's maybe a misinterpretation there of some sort, because it seems like that should be usable.
I think it has something to do with the stream that rides by the property. They don't want the stream contaminated, and
To be a big dog to contaminate the stream.
Where does the septic tank go? Septic tank goes into the ground, so what's the difference?
It's an incredibly detailed discussion that I don't think we're equipped to handle right now. I'm sorry.
We've opened the videos from the shelter for the day of the raid, November 13th. There's so many minutes missing out of there, half-hour clips, 30-second clips, 5-minute clips. You guys are responsible for that, for opening it, but I'd like to know if you guys can have the police department investigate that. Why are there minutes missing? Who?
You copied that?
Nancy,
Yeah.
look into that.
There was minutes missing.
I put the
Maybe
time
tampered
period,
with.
whatever it is,
I mean, that to me is a crime if Richard or Michael remote it in and erase it.
Did you shut the system off?
Yeah, the first couple of days I was there, we shut off the system so they couldn't get access to it.
Yeah, so I mean, there are plenty of minutes, and you know, that's got to be investigated by the police department, I feel, because that's a crime.
It actually seems like the recordings were tampered with because the counter jumps. So it's not like it was shut off, the counter actually jumps.
Yeah, you'll have
And all
4
cameras
videos,
aren't
and one of them
universal.
stops, and then just bounces. You know, a half hour here, 10 minutes here, you'll see nobody, and all of a sudden you'll see an elbow all the way at the other end, and it disappears.
And if you watch the counter, you can see how it jumps time.
Yeah, there was no glitch. that was somebody remoting not in, I think.
Our guess is when the paperwork was moved, because they blamed us, and nobody had a bag on them, and we were all accounted for on the outside video and the inside video.
Yeah,
And the mayor
None of
has
us-
that email securing those tapes to the safe, so they were in somebody's care for some portion of time, you know.
We know we carried out paperwork, if you look at the video. I mean, you don't lean with a gym bag unless you have something in there that's heavy. So,
I
a
actually think
man
there's
to
a dog in that
lean,
gym bag. I actually think Darla's in that gym bag. If you look at the video, the back of the gym bag has a bulge. Paperwork
Impression
doesn't
of a
bulge
dog's
round,
face.
and if you blow up on that, you can almost see the dog's face through that. I think he walked right past us with Darla in that gym bag.
Yeah, the police department never looked in their bags to see what they were removing. And Richard said that I was removing paperwork, which is a complete lie, and it seems like the police department doesn't do their job in, filing charges on them for, lying to the police, for saying that people were threatening to kill her, and there's no phone calls, no nothing. It's all one-sided, the police department is.
It really
be the
is.
police chief, get rid of the
Yeah,
director.
police chief.
He's like this with the mayor. He's useless.
I come in asking questions on, subpoenas and Oprahs, and I get whatever, I'm going back upstairs. I'm not gonna deal with you. Now, Pete, you said that you get emails from the mayor. We've actually gotten a statement from the mayor saying that as of December 1st, she doesn't do email anymore. So there's another open violation. I mean, and it seems like you Oprah something and somebody goes through it to make sure that some paperwork doesn't go. Because you have 3 people Oprah the same stuff, and it's all different. Everything is just different.
Mr. Estrada got stuff that we were told didn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know if he Oprah'd anything, because I've Oprah'd all the Oprahs, and Joe Estrada is not Oprahing the stuff that we've asked for, and all of a sudden he has. I mean, that's a violation. You just get it through the backdoor deals, which, I guess this town is regular with.
I think that's kind of what started. It was, we Oprah and shelter paperwork, and then you Oprah the town who corresponded to, and their stuff came back different. And you're like, whoa. And I think I think that kind of was what opened the door. The mayor's lack of transparency, and her lack of addressing things just let this snowball to where it is. But the fact of the matter is, it is. It's real. It all happened. This is real stuff.
Can I ask a question about the videos?
Sure.
Just real quick. So you're concerned about some missing videos. Is that to vindicate you from something you're being
No.
accused of, or is that just something you've noticed that really
We
we
noticed
should
a
be?
half-hour time missing, let's say. What happened? That they erased it. And it has nothing to do with us,
This was on the
because
day of the raid, right?
this is the day of the raid, so I wasn't even allowed in the building. Nobody was. This is during the day when they were actually in there. There's cats walking around in the isolation room. It's just craziness. Actually, I think there was 2 cats.
So you see this as impeding the investigation of, say, the SPCA?
Absolutely, because when we pay for
Are they
Sure,
asking for
sure.
it? I mean, I don't even know.
No.
We
I
don't
gotta be
know.
honest, I'm not that close to it.
But basically, like, one of Rick Yoakum's things was, well, we can't charge them with not feeding and watering the dogs because maybe they ate it and they drank it. Well, you can see in the videos, which are part missing, maybe they didn't feed the cat and dog all day, which they didn't, according to the videos. But what happened in that half hour, 10 minutes, or even like 1 second that they erased it, are they committing crimes and now they're erasing them? So that's a police investigation. And it's also a police investigation if they're tapping in and erasing stuff.
It's municipal property, actually.
Yeah, I mean, and it's operable, so you guys are on the hook for it.
And you can't depend on the NJSPCA, because 6 charges for animal cruelty, 3 of them being from the health department. I mean,
Do you know
out
that
of
Michael and Richard were their
230
employees? They both worked for the NJSPCA, by the way.
And out of 230 animals,
Yes.
that means only 3 charges came from the NJSPCA. Something's going on over there too. I mean, and we're done with Helmetta.
I mean,
we know where to go now.
I just read the other day, he's actually making it sound like, now that it's a rumor that there was no food in the shelter the night of the raid, when they left. When we clearly know there was no food in the shelter. Mayor Policino went and got food. Some of the girls that were there, that were inside that, were helping with the cleaning, they had food in their car, they took their bags of food out of their car. There was no food in that shelter.
I'm gonna sound really ignorant here, but that almost sounds like you're looking for information to prove something that, I mean, the shelter's closed.
Well,
I'm not really sure, and I admit that we need it because,
No,
from my
this
standpoint.
is not about the shelter, now this is about the directors, this is about holding people responsible.
Right,
It
I
actually
agree.
got you to where you are, in a way, in a sense, and so that, you know, they don't go to the next shelter and just start their same thing here, because, you know, they came from a shelter, Perth Amboy, and they did it there. You know,
No, you're
as
absolutely right. As I sit up here responsible for some of the oversight of the organization, of the government as a whole, if something like that's missing, I take that seriously. Now, if you're looking for it because you're trying to prove something specific, it's missing, so there's nothing I can do about that. But if you're looking for it because, hey, we gotta stop this from happening in the future, and we have an oversight responsibility,
Well, that's
I'm
it.
on board with that.
I think that's all, I think it's all inclusive of that.
Okay, so
You
we
know,
can-
obviously, somebody had access to those
You have
cameras.
to handle that for a month, yeah.
Right.
You know, it's nothing specific, it's like, there's a half hour, what happened?
I mean, do we file a complaint with the state to
I'm not
get
100%
that?
sure. I'll tell
But
you,
no, I'm not saying.
if I'm responsible for it, I feel like I need to at least
Well, it seems like
look
the
into
police
it, but I don't know
are
if we're gonna be able to
responsible for it.
recreate it. We're not gonna be
Because
able to recreate it.
that is a part of the case. I mean, if you have all those animals' paperwork, I mean, even before all that paperwork was stolen, I mean, I was coming up here with, oh, the animal didn't exist. Meanwhile, I got a kennel card and a picture, and I'm getting Oprahs that say the animal didn't exist. So now, you're missing all this paperwork for 230 animals. They can't use that as evidence against them to convict them. That's why they did it. And the whole bottom line is
That's
that
why it's
when
paperwork out.
when the ship goes down, if Nancy doesn't save those two, they're gonna take
I mean, and why
Nancy
should
with
we have to be the ones to say, okay, you don't have, you know, the files are missing, let's go to the videotape. I mean, the cameras are put in there by the municipality for a reason. You know, they are your employees, like, why should we have to be the ones to think of that? That's the first thing that should have been done. Are they being friendly? Let's go to the videotape, you know, did they, you know, were they undertaking paperwork? I mean, you know, both to prove whatever, whichever way the story goes, you know, if they're making these claims and you're looking to put, you know, restraining orders against Colleen from coming there, then you should be able to know that you know, you have evidence to do that.
Yeah, and I've asked for the evidence, I've gotten nothing. I've asked for Oprah's,
But
I've
the-
asked
you
for
know,
nothing.
The videotapes would be the first thing,
She's
you
gotta
know.
go too. She's not good.
Now, do you guys have plan on, getting Southern Dog shipped up here again? Or is it just gonna be you know, your municipalities and, you know, not a puppy mill, which it was at the
That's what
Michael
rescues do. Rescues bring dogs up from out of state, not municipal shelters.
I mean,
So-
we're killing our dogs to get
Nancy was welcome to
puppies up
rescue.
here to sell and make a profit. I mean, is that gonna be something in the plans?
That's not in the plan.
It should not be.
Okay,
Leave it to the rescues,
so,
that you're not.
awesome, thank you guys for your time.
Jump it up again.